Action!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Chicago Reacts Movies and TV. My name is Michael. I'm an actor here in the city of Chicago, and I'm joined by the ever brilliant, the always talented, the one, the only.
It's Zach, also an actor here in the city of Chicago. Some call me Frodo, Elijah Wood.
I'll be your Samwise. I'll be the Samwise to your Frodo Baggins.
It was time, guys. I think y'all saw this one coming. Return of the King, extended version, and I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon to be doing this with you. It's finally the one that I feel like we're gonna have some commentary for.
Yeah. And we've been having a blast with the commentary so far, talking about all the added scenes and everything like that. So we're pumped. We hope you are too. And if you are enjoying the series, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything else, and leave a comment in that comment section down below. If you want to check out the whole thing, uncut, all of our juicy reactions, go check out our Patreon. That's where you'll get the full thing. But we also appreciate all that support on YouTube. So thank you for that. Should we jump into it?
Oh man,
Let's do
here
it.
we go.
Oh man,
Barring a Hobbit trilogy viewing,
the beginning of the end. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because with these shots, I mean, this shot here, I think is actually underwater, but the scene prior to that isn't. But I didn't really know that until, I don't know if I was watching a VFX artist react or if it was just in the behind the scenes and realizing like that wasn't underwater. And I always thought there was something that looked a little weird about it.
It's not the best work.
Yeah.
In the series.
I don't know, but I gotta be honest. Well, you know what? It looks similar to like the work they did with like when Sam is under the water in the Fellowship.
Yeah, that just had more weight to it though.
It did. Well, yeah, this one like there's more there's way less movement in that you can't really tell in that. But with this you can really tell. And yeah, it definitely has a certain look to it that I don't know. I'm not that bothered by it personally when I watch it, but maybe you all disagree. Let us know in the comment section.
I'm not right either. But you know what's crazy is it's literally that freaking fish that put into motion this entire trilogy, arguably.
That
freaking fish, man.
Was maybe it was a dark fish. It worked for
in the land of the Shire, the dog fish.
The dog fish.
Like imagine that intro monologue from Kate Blanchett. What is the relationship here?
I mean, I just assumed they were friends.
Friends, yeah.
I guess I don't get the impression that it's
either romantic or like either like you don't think this is like father and son or cousins or like something like that?
No, I mean in the no, they're just friends in the books. I know that's pretty clear. I think the language is less like I think it was just like
an endearing thing.
Yeah, just an endearing terminology.
Yeah.
I don't, to my knowledge, at the time Peter Jackson was not trying to be progressive by at the time progressive having an open couple in a movie, but or open same-sex couple I should say, but yeah, I don't know, but I've never noticed
that.
I never thought about that. I just sort of assumed they were friends, but maybe that's my close-mindedness. I don't know. I mean, well, then it corrupts them both. Like they're both fighting over it. It's not like
not just fighting it, but I mean like literally
killing each other,
their lives over
like
it.
they both were willing to.
Like, look at how much time Smeagol had to turn back. So is Gollum a personality that came about from his relationship with the ring and then all the years of solitude spent?
I don't know. It's been a little while. I'm
Is that
sure someone will roast me for
yeah,
not knowing this, but um
I-
yeah, well, because Gollum is like it's also just what he's called by different like I think um it's just that he's called that by different entities.
mm,
But so he refers to himself as Gollum because that's what he's called, but Smeagol used to be his name, but he doesn't even recall that anymore. It's like so like if someone started you calling you something different than Zach
right,
for a
right,
1,000 years, and then you heard Zach again for the first time, it's like, oh, right. You know.
yeah. So he retreated. Was there a reason why he went to Moria to
So
hide
he
for?
was so he was well he wasn't he didn't hide in Moria. So he was ousted um by his community because he murdered Deagle. So they threw him out because he was a murderer. And then he wandered and he eventually found himself at like under the Lonely Mountain where Bilbo finds the
Right.
ring, hiding among the goblins, like at the in the darkest ravine or crevices of the mountain. So that's where like I don't really know much about uh Gollum's story from that point until
Mhm.
he's found by Bilbo. But then after that, um I then when the Saruman starts to regain his power, they find Gollum and they torture him until he says like that
Shire
it's in the
Baggins.
Shire, um and then Gandalf and Aragorn find him after he's been released, and that's where they find out that he told Saruman Shire Baggins, um, or Baggin, and then he starts following them um into so he picks up their trail in Moria.
Right.
So and I think like was following them since before Moria,
Mm.
but he knows his way into
Yeah.
Moria. So
Gotcha.
he's a sneaky dude.
Some would say.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the Gollum game is coming out soon. Or
Oh,
is it already?
game?
Yeah, where you are like playing I think you play Gollum trying to get out of Mordor or something like
What?
that. And it's like entirely stealth based.
I knew nothing about
What? You
this.
haven't heard of it?
No. What?
It sounds weird. I'm like a little excited for it, but I'm not sure. It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's coming out this year. I don't think it's out yet.
What the heck? That is awesome.
Yeah. Like this transition here. Because it literally fades from like a prosthetic
Uh-huh.
to the CG, and it's so flawless in that like shot. It's so good. I just think it sells the CG that much more.
I also loved it. Like this is literally the forest right outside of us. Like it's the
Yeah, so we
same look,
picked up like
literally right
right.
where Two
Yeah,
Towers.
yeah. So we've lost like no time. Oh, that scene is so good. That's such a brutal moment.
Well, I'm telling you right now, like I'm gonna get teary eyed at, at a certain moment. I remember bawling my eyes out in the theater
Yeah.
watching. There's one particular scene in this movie that just I'm like, oh my god, gut wrenching.
Oh, it's so good.
Also, just a quick note as far as like filming, isn't it crazy to think about how actors Sean Astin and Elijah Wood like spent all this time filming with everybody during the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then just proceeded to then spend the remaining two films in their entirety.
I
Like
know.
basically just the two of them. And then occasionally Andy Serkis. Sure.
Well,
For a
often
lot of the
Andy
motion,
Serkis. Yeah.
for the motion capture portions. And then, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then Andy Serkis, who recorded with
Mhm.
just Elijah Wood.
Yep.
And Sean Astin, and then by himself
By
in a
himself.
in a
Yep.
mocap suit,
Yep.
having to redo everything. And
Everything.
yeah.
Council together as we
Oh, you know what?
my old
I forgot that they
peace, you and
oh we um I forgot that the him dying is the extended version. And it may I think maybe one part of the real reasons they cut it, A, for length, but B, I think you would have had a lot more people upset right out of the gate if you killed off
Saruman.
Saruman right away. Because yeah, because that's not in the book. In the book he does get away. And that's where like the whole second half of the book Return of the King book that they cut when they go back to the Shire is to deal with Saruman, who is much less powerful, but it's still mostly just like very influential. He's able to like corrupt people with his tongue. I forget. Yeah. So yeah, this whole thing was definitely just for the movie. And it's
Holy shit! I didn't know that. I didn't know
yeah.
that it was like that.
So the fact that they like yeah, I think
So-
they made a smart call because I think if they killed
Uh-huh.
Saruman in the way that they do as the original cut, I think you would have had some diehard fans in the theater who would have gone, "What?"
So what? So essentially, then it's the impression is that Saruman is alive, in the theatrical cut at the end. Like there's no.
Well, they
resolution.
just don't talk about it.
Hmm.
I mean, they cut to so it's like the there's a wizard to manage, and then they say something, and then it's like it cuts to the filth of Saruman is washing away, is what Treebeard says, which he will say at the end. That's when you know we're out of the extended scene. But it's essentially to say like his power. They essentially just go. They sum it up with he doesn't have any power anymore. You good over there, buddy?
Did Grima just fucking appear out of nowhere, dude?
Yeah, he's
It
just
was so creepy.
it's like,
Just
what
like
is he-
coming over the edge, like what just like. Like he's like the over attentive server at a restaurant that always comes at the worst possible time. Well,
shot him right in the heart.
I forgot the Grima stab.
Yeah.
Maybe that's also why they cut it because of that very violent.
Yeah,
like-
I mean, I'm watching. I'm like, okay, what do we learn? Nothing. We just get more drama about, oh, Aragorn will never be king, and your doom is at hand. I mean, it's an intense scene, but it definitely it reads. I don't know. I see where they. I think I see why they cut it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really add anything, and it's sort of the tone is a little weird.
I also, excuse me. I do like the fact that theatrical still brought them to see the destruction at Isengard.
Right.
know what
I
I'm
think they
saying?
kept the important parts.
I feel, yeah, because the whole Aragorn will never become king thing. I think like that part of the drama storyline for the trilogy at least is over. Aragorn is now in the part where he's transitioning to understanding his very
We've ended with
unique-
him being kingly.
right
in the
right,
last
right,
one,
right.
charging
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah,
at the
so
head
I
of-
think that
yeah.
the whole "you will never be" is kind of a tired thing at this point.
Yeah.
And,
Nice. He's got a spare blanket.
Yeah, you always need a spare.
I mean, that's really what's important is Pippin sees the Palantir
Right.
and has that draw.
Oh, that backdrop! My God, dude. My
Stunning.
God. Hey, yeah, this is gonna be our filming location for the next 3 months. Hope you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Hope you're all
I-
good with that.
Guess I can manage.
I guess. I never noticed that they kicked gambling right there.
Yeah. Well, they kicked Beal over his. I think that's a clever way to make, because they're not in that scene. Like, they're dancing on a giant table, and then everyone else is sitting around a normal sized table.
Yep.
So to have them kick that and have it spill on somebody is such a great way to tie the scene together, like to tie the CG elements together.
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, they're in the same place when they're not.
Right.
That look is extended, I believe. I don't think they had that.
No news.
Yeah, because Pippin's undergoing his big. I guess you could argue that, like, Mary was more fighting for more of the Ent's involvement in the war in 2 than Pippin was.
Yeah.
He was a little. So this is kind of like Pippin's wake up call to, like, experiencing the true-hearted drama on a personal level.
Well, yeah, both times I would say, like, this is his, like, dramatic arc.
Right.
Whereas in the previous movies, he's, they
More
were
of a
definitely like more the comedic relief in the first one. In the second one, he's still Mary led the charge with being, like, more heroic and, like,
Mary was the one who understood far better understood the consequences of the war, whether it included them or not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. But yeah, so it's definitely just like from a scene perspective, like new material for Pippin.
It's a powerful look, though. Because I think you're right. I don't think that look was included in the original.
Yeah, I don't think so. But that's not really what this scene is about, So it sort of hints at, like, Pippin's got more stuff going on underneath the surface, but that's not really what this scene is about. So I kind of get why they cut it down to, like, what do we really need to know? Well, we don't need that whole drinking game between Legolas and Gimli. We get a little fun song from the couple that is, like, Merry and Pippin, who have been, more fun and frolicky.
And we already know that Pippin does have this weird attachment to the Palantir.
We already know that, so we don't need to see that again. And really, we need to get to what's happening. What is the next action? And that's Aragorn and Gandalf right here. It's such a unique way of doing the scene because they've already done this, like, back and forth shot of, like, changing the perspective. I think it's cool that they upped it the ante. Instead of just, like, they could have done the same thing again.
Right.
Where, Smeagol and Gollum are talking back and forth like they did in the second one. But, they put it into a reflection pool. And, I don't know. I feel like it's just those little touches that, like, add to, like, oh, we're not just doing the same trick again.
Right. Meanwhile, everybody else in Rohan's like,
what is happening? Does this happen to you guys, like, every day? So what's interesting is in the books, Aragorn actually, well, I believe Pippin holds the Palantir as well, but afterwards Aragorn takes the Palantir. And it's sort of his way of, well, shoot, does that happen? I don't remember if it happens here or if it's later after they defeat after the battle for Moria or Minas Tirith.
Okay.
I don't know if it's then or here, but I think it's actually later because I think it's sort of a part of the reason why it's like almost like to convince Sauron that they have the ring. Like that's what gives Aragorn the like if he the only way he would be as so bold as to march on the Black Gate is if he has the ring. And that's part of the strategy to draw them out. So I think there's an aspect where he engages with the Palantir because the other thing that isn't in the movies that is in the books is Denethor has a Palantir. And that's why Denethor's corrupted. Because he's been given visions of Sauron's plan to destroy Minas Tirith and he's only seen the death and destruction of Minas Tirith. So he's led to believe that that their future is doomed no matter what.
Gotcha. So in the movies, he's just an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's that same I think it has the same effect though, because really what is the difference? Hope or no hope?
Right.
Like that's the difference. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's cowardice and he doesn't know what he's doing.
I guess, yeah, I think that the cowardice and the losing hope thing plays almost more into like, yeah, but in the movies, to me, it just comes across as it's all because of Boromir and losing Boromir and just hating and despising his other son.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to be stuck in a life where he has to be reminded that the son that he didn't like survived when Boromir did. And I think that if it would have been made known that Sauron had some inkling in terms of turning Gondor upside down rather than just losing Boromir in terms of the movies independently.
Well, definitely let us know in the comment section down below. This will, I'm sure, be an ongoing conversation through our watch through. But do you think, knowing that Denethor was corrupted by Palantir as well, does that give you more empathy for the character or not?
Yeah, that's a good. What do you think they talked about for their whole 3-day horse ride?
All the crops Pippin would steal from Farmer Maggot.
Maybe shared some of that long bottom leaf.
Probably. Talked about the saddle sores they were getting. Or the bareback sores they were getting. Yeah.
Gandalf.
Yes, the white tree.
Also,
Gone.
I know our conversation about Denethor earlier, but if your view is constantly this dark looming threat and this volcano erupting in the distance, that might play with your head a little, you know?
With this like
and the tree is
just
dead.
Been there for a little bit too long, like
is dead and hasn't flowered in a long time, and you're like, okay.
It's like the Gildergreen.
This doesn't make me feel good about myself.
It's like the Gildergreen from Skyrim. You remember that mission?
No.
That's in the middle of Whiterun. The tree that you have to go get like the special sap from. It's a good mission.
I don't remember, but yeah.
Oh,
Ian McKellen's so great right there. I am. Like that's your job all day.
Yeah, just to sit at that
chill.
gate. So
Hail
here's my thing. Denethor has been the steward, and for however long, but I believe he's in like a generation of stewards. You know, like there hasn't been a rightful king of Gondor in ages, right?
Yeah. So like it belongs to him, but it's also like not really his. Like,
well, my question is, at what point do you just sit in the throne? He's still they're all still sitting in the steward's chair, you know?
Or like at what point does he maybe go up and say, you know what, I'm gonna go use the king's bathroom? You know, like is he still using the steward's bathroom?
I think I should use the king's. I mean, the rightful king isn't using it, so I'm doing all the work.
I'm doing all the work, guys. Clear. I'm doing all the sitting.
You know, which I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's interesting.
It's just speaking of Shadow of Mordor. Did you ever play that video game?
No, I didn't.
It's pretty good. I think it takes place in the Second Age.
I've heard there are really good things about like the way they designed the like orcs remembering who you are and how your gameplay like affects the overall story was a super unique and really hasn't been done again.
It has not. There's like a hierarchy system. Yeah. So there's ground level orcs and everything like that, but there is orc leaderships, and they can range from like captains to like war maidens to like generals and all that. And whenever you kill a leader, a new orc takes that place.
Right.
And then or like if an orc kills you, let's say, that orc then advances in rank.
Right.
It's really cool. I forget, it's like called the villain system or something like that.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
cool.
I've definitely watched a video that does like a deep dive into how exactly it all works, and it's really interesting. But yeah. No, I think most of this is extended. I don't know if there's clips. I don't think any of that.
I don't think any of this is included.
I think they walk out, and I think at some point it cuts to them at the end of this like platform, but we'll see.
Billy Boy looks so old right now. Oh my god.
They're right there.
Right there.
I mean, it's dark, and they've got cloaks on.
The pieces are moving.
Also,
And everyone's got hoods on, or like helmets on, so you know they can't see if they're marching along. You do think someone might be like,
someone out of the thousands of...
I think there's some little dudes climbing that hill.
Are those some little dudes?
There's some little dudes climbing that hill.
Shit.
But I guess if it's not like a leader of a battalion, any other orc, I'm not going to bring it up. You know, it's just one of those things. I don't think I should bring it up. You know,
this is the type of shit I'll lose my grog over if it turns out that I am wrong.
Yeah, I don't want to lose my grog or my moldy bread. So
right.
I will say there's where we really get the impression that like I feel like there's a lot of foreshadowing in that moment of, oh, Gollum's gonna do something to get rid of Sam, because it becomes very clear that like if Sam's still around, Gollum's in danger.
You think?
But
I don't think that was extended. I think that isn't it. That moment.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that's extended. Let it confirm for us in the comment section down below. I'm surprised they have torches.
Well, that's some thick smog, my guy.
Yeah, it is. I feel like some of those wide shots where you really see like how many orcs are coming across the river are not in the theatrical.
Included, yeah, because the whole point was this was supposed to be a quick under the radar scene. Like, I think everybody knew that Skiliath was doing. Like, when you see Mordor and then you see that tiny little sliver of a broken city down there. I think we all knew this was coming. So I don't think there's any need to like settle the grandeur of that. Because like, there was a lot of orcs there, but not like so many where you're just like, oh my god. Yeah. But you know it's not looking good. Like, what did Denethor sneak away to Isengard for that shot right there? Like, dude.
I mean, if you think about it, like, it's an emergency signal that takes about a day to get there, right? Based on, like, we've seen it go all through the day. This is the night. Yeah. So it's going to be probably morning again before they see it. That's 1 day versus 3 days. Yeah. That's a pretty big difference when it's an emergency, you know?
Yeah. I was saying more of like this is such like a long path and long time that someone else would recognize like the beacon or they didn't know of like another group of, even if they were small, but men and soldiers that could go provide some aid. Yo, yes. They had a lot of freaking horses in the Rohan, dude. Still fucking.
Oh, this
The
battle's all
exhaustion.
night long.
The exhaustion. Took Pippin with him for that.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. I feel like that's Pippin's response too. Like, wait a minute, what? You want me to go with you? Wouldn't I be better to not go with you? Just say it. Slow your horse down. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, you definitely
It's
get
not
the
really-
impression when it
it's-
was like he's seeing things that he's definitely losing his mind,
Yeah.
which
It's
maybe
not,
makes him a little more sympathetic.
Yeah.
But Faramir is
Um,
just such a good dude.
I-
Just so good.
I love.
and service to Gondor.
Oh, I loved that scene.
War.
That was
In living
definitely extended, but it was so sweet.
It's such a shame.
What a
that they
tender
cut.
moment to have. Like,
That by far is like I'm gonna vote for Damn You Jackson. That's what we should add like a cross list as we were watching these movies of all the scenes that were included and deleted. We could have had a "You Go Jackson" and a "Damn You Jackson" button. I would have pressed that for this one. That to me,
in Peter Jackson's defense, this is the director's cut. So it is the version that he wanted to have out there. I feel like the theatrical release may be better stated as the producer's cut,
All right.
which is to say we need to cut some time because we can't have people in a theater for 4 hours. So I would say Peter Jackson would agree that this scene is good and should be in the movie.
That was excellent. Like it was short,
Yeah.
sweet. It was excellent.
And again, between this scene and
with love.
the scene with Mary and Theoden is just like so different. Where Theoden is just like, yes,
Theoden's a badass.
and he's kind heart, like he's Theoden is great. He's
And Denethor right
well
away is
hearted.
just like not afraid to just like
Neither are you, apparently.
Just like
Kiss my ring.
kiss my ring, damn it.
You know, one thing that I think I've seen in like chat threads and forums and things like that is, you know, especially in the film when we see Deagle at the beginning and Smeagol fighting over the ring.
Yeah.
One thing that isn't talked about as much is Sam's strength, because he this whole time could be corrupted by the ring. I mean, even
Right.
Smeagol sees it dangling
Right.
just moments ago from Frodo's neck and has to fight or like has to be patient, knowing that if he lets her do it, you know, he'll actually get to keep it. And
He's the only one that's volunteered outside of Warren. Like to like actually
That's
take
true.
the ring.
that's true.
Which is really interesting, and considering how much longer Sam's journey has been.
Well, and I'm saying like here, Sam is doing it authentically, wanting to share the burden of the ring, whereas Boromir was corrupted by it without even holding it.
Right.
You know?
Right. This is literally like the scene in 300 where they put together the army of 300 against the
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of.
But it goes the opposite
Yeah.
way. I mean, I do think this is cool. It sets up just like how big the army of Rohan is later, because you've got 2 lines of horses here. And
There's got like nothing left.
right. I mean,
And
the
it's
fact that
just
they're
like-
sending these riders out when it's like, no, you really should you should just be building up your defenses and preparing for a siege is what you should be doing. But
Much for Helm's Deep.
well, and I think it's a tricky time because like if Gandalf tries to take over now, he'll just be imprisoned. Or something, you know, I can't imagine if he tries to usurp Denethor's throne now or Denethor's rule now.
Yeah, it's like Gandalf knows that this is a price that kind of has to be paid for the long term. Like, I don't know.
Or like, well, and he's trying to convince Faramir to like stand up and fight back, or like if Faramir doesn't do this, well, Denethor's just going to send another captain to do it. Like, I think it's sort of that thing of like, well, wouldn't you rather have, like, what is he to do, but to do his Lord's will, you know?
How he just looks like he was there for kind of like a while. He's like doing one of those like.
No, I think he probably just poked his head and was like, Master Aragorn, Master Aragorn, oh, like.
I think it was one of those like nothing's worse than like having to wake something. I just don't think that's like it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like, as a person. Like,
yeah, like I've never
there,
wanted to wake somebody up from a sleep.
Yeah.
You know.
Friendship of the ages, baby.
Yes.
Oh.
One heck of a trio.
I know. It's up there with Steve.
Yeah.
Stranger Things references.
Yeah, definitely. You think he would have said something, right? Like,
would have paid Theoden the courtesy and just been like, tomorrow's a big day.
That's her husband. But I gotta go get an army of the undead to help us. I think we both agree that we need to, explore all options.
Tomorrow's supposed to be like a great big party, but I promise you I'll be at the next one.
I'll get there. I'll just be late. Yeah. I promise I'll get there. I'll just be late. Okay. Or I'll be dead. Mm-hmm. That's his kingly horse from the last one.
Fear death.
Gimli died.
Look, boneheads.
Well, this is a thing unheard
I
of.
said bonehead.
An elf will go underground.
So, from the time the beacons are lit, a day for the beacons to reach Rohan, 3 days until they leave for Minas Tirith, and then a 3-day ride on top of that.
So, like a week, my dude.
Yeah.
Like a week.
Which I guess we see like, yeah, I mean, you see like the orcs are amassing their armies in Osgiliath, so I guess it would take time for them to like get all the siege
get
stuff
all the
and
stuff they need, right? Because Minas Tirith is an absolute behemoth of a city. So
yeah, and they need time to get everything in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that.
And if any, you know what? If anything, the like that secondary march that Faramir led stupidly back to Osgiliath might honestly have bought them an extra day or at least an extra 12 hour. I don't know, but that's plausible too. So that in terms of that
maybe
coming into like the whole fate thing.
Yeah.
I know it's not a lot, but it's also a lot.
It's a lot,
and they got a lot of horses and stuff too. Like yeah, Mordor straight up can afford like drummer trolls, dude. Like not even there to fight. Just like
I'm sure they're multi-purpose. Maybe that's like his thing. Like he's the drummer.
Just keeps the beat.
Popping,
dude.
Yeah, he's like, I'm living my like. I know it's for war, and I know it's for. Like, my bosses aren't great, but I get to drum.
I worked for this my whole life.
And that's all I wanted to ever do was drum. And if it's war drums, that's great. I think this scene, they used a lot of these scenes in the video game. Like, I think this one. Oh, so bad. That scene, I feel like, does sort of detract from the intensity. We got the war drums building up, and they're running through, and then have this scene where Gimli's like crushing skulls and feeling weird about it.
Yeah.
Definitely, it changes the energy of it.
I think actor wise too, I'm most jealous of Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah,
Because he got to act with everybody in the series. He
Oh,
got his
yeah.
fellowship time, got his Gandalf time, got his super badass Legolas
With
and
the
Gimli time.
boys.
He had it with the boys. Got to hang out with Sean Bean for a bit. Then got to fight in all the major battles and be a hero.
Yeah.
Got to hang out with Liv Tyler and Miranda Otto, like Bernard Hill,
Yeah,
Carl Urban. Like, come on,
yeah.
dude.
He had some. He had some good scenes.
That's
Also, Carl Urban looks so young.
so young.
I've been watching The Boys on Amazon and seeing him in that, and then seeing him in this. I'm like, little baby Carl Urban.
Baby.
See, that's when you really need wizard power. Is just to amplify your voice so that you can call out commands from the top of the keep. Because I don't
Flee
think,
for battle!
I don't know if
Flee
anyone
for
else.
your life!
Yeah, like maybe you could hear like some like I want the sketch that's the two like but
Gondorian
Gondor
soldiers,
battalions
like-
being like, what is he saying? Like I can hear
Like, literally, did they even need the mercenaries from the south, dude? Like, does that not seem like a little bit of overkill?
Yeah.
Like, did they really need them?
Well, I assume they're also like they were also burning the villages to the south. So maybe
Sure.
making sure that reinforcements couldn't come from the south.
Yeah.
So like from the rest of Gondor, because Gondor spreads like
Right.
south of Minas Tirith
Right,
like for
right.
a while. It's as big
Right.
as Rohan, so
Right.
or maybe not as So I don't know. It's interesting. Oh, that's Peter Jackson.
That's it.
He did. So he got an extra cameo in the extended version, but on the theatrical list, he only gets Sam's arm.
Peter Jackson takes the hit, man.
That's
Woo.
so cool.
Man. Shit, Peter. You took that well.
He took that well.
Took
That's
that
great.
real
I'm
well.
sure he loved
Took
that.
that real well.
Yeah. You know how you know Sam is brave? He went down those stairs forward and not crawling backwards, because that's how I would have done it.
One at a time.
One at a time.
at a time, Mr.
Backwards
Frodo.
we go, like
One-
a toddler going down the stairs.
One at a time, Mr. Frodo.
But nope, Sam's going forward because he's courageous.
And he's done.
Yeah.
We must.
I think all of this is extended.
Yeah, because I don't remember like Pippin sneaking.
Yeah, I think it cuts to here.
No tomb for Denethor.
Oh, that flower is like,
No long sluice
yeah.
of death embalmed
Which
shall burn.
they did make less of a point. Like they built up the tree flowering for the new king of Gondor. So I feel like because they built it up less, it not happening is
Not
into-
as, yeah.
yeah, or us not seeing it isn't as like we're missing out. But having had it built up so much of like the prophet, like it won't flower until the next king has come.
Right.
Shows that Aragorn is become kingly. You know,
He's about to get sexual. Like, that in a very different context. Okay. And so that is actually where that's the scene where essentially the first disc ends. We know that it started with the siege of Gondor somewhere around the Grand time.
yeah.
I'm not sure actually. Maybe it does start with the maybe the second disc does start with the funeral scene, the start of the funeral. Now that I'm thinking about it, but around
What
this
we
time
could
is
find
where
is it was right after Gron smashes through. So we're gonna pause there, but you will get the rest of it in part 2, unless You are one of our Patreon supporters, and then you will get the whole thing. So consider us supporting us on Patreon.
Full uncut.
Full uncut. Otherwise, you will get a version for YouTube that will be good for YouTube. That'll
YouTube good?
allow us to keep it up on YouTube. But well, I hope you're enjoying this. Zach and I are having so much fun reacting to the Lord of the Rings, so it's been a blast. And yeah, I mean,
These are literally, in my honest, humble opinion, the greatest movies ever made. So yeah,
and honestly, rewatching them, I'm like, I love these movies so
Yeah.
much. I'm just falling more and more. Every time I watch it, I fall more and more in love with it. And yeah, it's been fun to talk about different scenes, notice different things. I always enjoy our conversations, picking things out, and we love getting those comments in that comment section down below as well. So let us know if there's anything we missed, any lore that you think we would appreciate some more detail on, or just any little tidbits you know about in that comment section down below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything else. And with that said,
Faramir rules, and we'll see you next time
on Chicago Reacts Movies and
TV.
TV.
Never gets old.